Hey, what is up you guys? This is Steffi, aka In My Humble Opinion, and welcome back to the last reaction video for The Crown, period, for The Crown Season 6, but also the last reaction video that I'm doing on this YouTube channel. So in today's video, we are watching, like I said, Season 6, Episode 10 of The Crown. The episode is entitled Sleep, Dearie, Sleep. So let's get right into it. Last reaction video, let's go! Charles and Camilla. Interesting that the last episode of this series, the first person we see is Charles, not Elizabeth.
Marry me.
Oh, this is how he proposes?
I realize more than anything in the world, I want you to be my wife.
Well, they're practically married.
Operation Fourth Bridge.
Oh, no, don't say that.
Why?
It's so sad.
It's surprising what it all stirs up, isn't it, Edward?
Philip is rather gleeful about his death. I wonder if they would have gone about doing this episode differently, or how just the episode would have been different had Queen Elizabeth still been alive. Gotta have the horses. Yeah, I do wonder if Peter Morgan would have written the episode, especially the last episode of this season, beginning with her kind of reflecting on her funeral procession, had Queen Elizabeth still been alive. Wow, the people have really turned on him.
Once people get a taste of life at the top, they never want to leave.
Is that right?
They just want to keep on and on.
Yes. Anyway, I'm sure this is not why you've come to see me today.
Elizabeth's like, enough of that.
I've come to make a request I wish I'd made 30 years ago. To ask your blessing to marry Camilla.
You don't think ending her relationship with you once you'd married Diana would have been heroic?
Camilla is What is he doing?
Planning his funeral. He wants that as his hearse.
He is really into this.
That he's your strength and stay. Camilla is my strength. And my stay.
Yeah, that's a good angle to come at, Charles. Don't use the word heroic.
Take advice and give you an answer soon.
Jeez, the fact that it's still not an immediate yes after all these years.
If it's abroad, ma'am, or here in the United Kingdom.
I shall do my best to keep it local.
My gosh.
What's the theme? Colonials and natives. Then there's that. Do you think they could have picked a more offensive theme?
I remember Harry got in so much trouble when he wore the Nazi outfit. I mean, he should have gotten in trouble for that, but I definitely remember that whole fiasco.
I asked you all here today because the Prince of Wales has requested my permission to marry Mrs. Parker Bowles.
Oh, okay.
I'd like to grant it.
All right.
Many people in this country still believe that the relationship between the Prince of Wales and Mrs. Parker Bowles was responsible for the breakdown of a royal marriage.
A royal marriage that technically should have not happened.
The service might include a prayer of penitence.
Wow.
In which the couple join with the congregation in asking forgiveness for past wickedness.
Oh, Charles is not gonna go for that.
Thank you both for coming. Now, I need some air. Would you be very cross if I suggest we go for a walk?
I just love when she gets to be a grandmother with them, you know?
How would you both feel about him getting married?
I knew it.
I love that this is coming from her and not from Charles.
Obviously, both of us prefer to think of him with Mummy. And anything other than that feels...
Wrong, so wrong.
Harry loyal to his mom.
So, is that a yes?
Yes.
Thank you.
Well, it's a yes from William, but not Harry.
That's what being a realist is.
Such a fucking company, man.
I'm just trying to be an adult. Don't expect you to understand what that feels like.
Ouch.
Thank you, Mummy.
Oh my gosh, 30 years. It took 30 years. This like kind of mirrors when, you know, in season 4 when Charles told the story about how he proposed to Diana, it was all like, I think he was talking on the phone with different people. This kind of like parallels that, except he's much more emotional here. Dang, he really loves her though. He really loves her.
Everything all right?
I think so.
I don't like that you're so excited to die.
Wait. Thank you.
Love the corgis always.
But is there a particular one that you like?
Well, me? Mum.
Yes, Pipes. You.
Yes, Pipes.
There is one I particularly like. Sleep, dearie, sleep.
Oh, episode title.
It's not very broad, and it's not very broad.
So I'm assuming that they actually did play this at her funeral.
Germany had an empire, didn't they? What about this?
Oh.
Maybe cover the swastika?
Oh, come on. Wearing the outfit doesn't...
They are showing this moment. Why would you, like, I just don't understand, like, why you would even have a party with this theme. You know what I mean? Like, not only was it, like, not a good look now, but it wasn't, like, a good look ever. Don't wear it. Why did you wear it to begin with if you knew like the potential being caught and it would have been bad? I do not approve. I did not approve back then and I definitely do not approve now. That was dumb. That was a dumb thing to do. I'm pretty sure Harry actually came out like within the past couple of years and admitted like that was stupid. And it was stupid.
Oh, shit.
Good morning.
We all make mistakes in the flashes of youth.
Rarely as gross a misjudgment as this. A swastika armband 2 weeks before Holocaust Memorial Day.
I agree, Elizabeth.
You've got to thread it through. No, thread... Yes, all right, thank you. I think I remember now. Thank you.
I hope it doesn't like ruin her film strip.
Yes. Oh, bingo.
I love that she like figured this out by herself. I like the way that they're shooting this. Like seeing her silhouette within the, you know, like the old candid footage and then also seeing the footage projected onto her. It's really nice. It's very, very artsy way of shooting this.
So I phoned the costume rental shop, gave them a piece of my mind. A fact I impressed upon the Sandhurst top brass, who happily agreed this latest episode should not prevent Harry entering officer training.
That's nice. Grandpa just had to make a couple calls.
You coward. Why didn't you tell him?
Oh my gosh. I was like, what the fuck? Olivia Colman?
How tired. No, not just tired. Exhausted you are by it all. How ready for a rest. And at the same time, how ready...
I love... This is so freaking wild. Let's just go for it. This is the last episode.
Him.
Yes.
Where's Claire? Is she coming? Is Claire here too?
Stepping down is the right thing to do. As queen and as a mother.
Oh, I didn't realize how much I would miss seeing Olivia Colman as the queen. Claire Foy is still my favorite queen, but also didn't realize that, like, even at this point, she had doubts about continuing, that she was entertaining the idea of stepping down.
I'm not sure I like you've been all along.
Can you stop bickering, please? I beg you.
Oh, I love the... I love that. I love that musical cue.
Yes, but you didn't witness it. It was horrid how they were to each other. Vicious and unkind.
See, like I said in previous videos, I was like, the energy between the two of them is like really bad.
It feels like she's planning a big announcement. My father met with Anne to ask what she thought was in it, but she's as baffled as the rest of us.
Oh, did he think like maybe she was gonna step down?
Don't give it any further thought. Just think about the boys.
Thank you, darling.
Why is Camilla having to be the one to remind Charles to think about his own sons? That's my question.
I heard Granny's going to make a speech at the wedding. That she's going to use the occasion to tell the family she's standing down after 50 years in the job.
She'd never do that. And even if she did, why on Pa's big day?
Because it's the wedding present he most wants.
That's why Charles was all like smiling.
That'd make you William the...
Fifth.
Better than second. He was assassinated by his brother.
Was he?
Who, would you believe, was
That's a dark.
Prince Harry. He had William killed in a shooting accident and galloped off to Winchester to claim the throne for himself. Don't worry, mate. I wouldn't do that to you.
That is a scary, odd coincidence. I wonder how Harry and William are now. Like, are they on good terms now or neutral? Like, what's the deal with them? Harry's like, I fucking hate this. I hate this.
I don't know what you think you're doing.
Claire's here.
Is that the right thing to do to the institution? Charles is in the prime of his life now.
Honestly, I've never heard so much nonsense.
Oh, I love seeing Claire back as Elizabeth.
Since the Jubilee, since Mummy's death, I see you as liberated, confident. You say that Charles is in his prime. Well, I see you in yours.
Oh my God, they're together.
You sometimes think there's a difference between you and the rest of the family.
Because you are different, Elizabeth.
And more importantly, it seems to thrive under you.
I think it's so interesting that, like, the younger Elizabeth, like, the first Elizabeth is telling her, hold on, girl, don't step down.
The woman I put aside when I became queen.
Okay, I want, like, are all three of them ever gonna be together, or is it just, like, a one-on-one situation here?
If you went looking for Elizabeth Windsor, you wouldn't find her. She's gone. Long gone. You buried her years ago.
Her different iterations of herself are kind of like, in a way, her having an identity crisis. I really hope we get all three of them together at some point in this episode.
Everyone's got their knickers in a twist about it.
Have they?
Are you sure you don't want to discuss it?
Quite sure. Thank you.
She's like, I don't need you. I have my other Elizabeths with me. That's what Claire Foy and Olivia Colman are there for.
By thought, word, and deed against thy divine majesty.
His glare.
Today has been a memorable day with a single happy event bringing the whole nation together. The Grand National Steeplechase finished 20 minutes.
She has a lot of jokes in this speech.
The young Edward was widely expected to marry a European princess, but Edward had other ideas. He set his heart on a woman he had known his whole life, slightly his senior, a mother who had previously been married.
They're like, where's she going with this? Oh, she's shuffling her cards.
So now, will you all raise your glasses to the young couple? Charles and Camilla.
Charles is like, and?
Be kind to him. In many ways, it's harder being number 2 than number 1. The system protects number 1. Number 2 tends to...
Go mad.
I was going to say, need extra care and attention.
Well, does real William remember his granny's words of advice?
Your Royal Highnesses.
Oh yes, okay, oh my gosh, the tradition of a group photo.
We're all spirits and melting into air.
Oh, they're standing on opposite ends.
All's well that ends well. Still, it defines the crown. Whatever the cause.
Same, Philip.
There you go, that's it.
Thank you.
All right.
I like that reoccurring thing that they have, like at the end of every cycle of the cast, a group photo. Apologies if the room has gotten darker, like the sun has like practically set, so. Wait, you know what? I think it's too dark. Wait, hold on. Oh, okay. Sorry about that. The lighting is inconsistent in this video, but we are trying to finish this.
You will continue as queen for as long as you possibly can, for one reason.
Because those are the rules.
Because those that come after you are not remotely ready to take over.
Oh, that is a shade to the family lineage.
You were always ready. You were born ready.
Philip has like always literally been her #1 hype man.
By contrast, this lot, the good thing is, it's not our problem.
Because we're gonna be out of here, girl.
Oh, I'm sure everyone will carry on pretending all is well. But the party's over.
And the show is over.
Your sole musical choice is very you.
And your coffin being driven in an old Land Rover is very you.
You looked.
I did.
That's nice. We're having one last moment with Philip and Elizabeth.
I'll leave you to it. Say one for me.
Bye, Philip. Oh my gosh, you guys. This is momentous. The show is ending. Are all the Elizabeths there now? Oh wait, no. Oh my god, they even got like little Elizabeth. That actress and Claire Foy need to do like a DNA test because they look so similar. Ah! Oh my god. Wow, chills. That was incredible. Wow. Wow. I love how they like came in at the same time too. Okay, ladies, now let's get information. What a journey. Wow, we're really watching her walk the entire way to the door. Last shot. Wow. Wow. Woo! All right, and some post-show thoughts. The last post-show thoughts. Yeah, wow. I don't think it has really sunk in yet that this show is done. It's over. Finito. I got a thrill. I got a thrill out of seeing Claire Foy and Olivia Colman and Imelda Staunton together in the same frame. Yes! I loved when Olivia Colman and Claire Foy like came in together. Oh gosh, wow. That was so cool. I kind of wish like all three of them were together in one scene and like had a conversation instead of Imelda Staunton having like a one-on-one with each of the previous Elizabeths. I wish, like I said in a previous video, I would have loved like a Hollywood Reporter roundtable inspired scene of the three of them just chatting away, talking about their time as Elizabeth. Like, I'm not even talking about like the actresses, I'm talking about in character, all of the Elizabeths just like chatting away. That would have been so fun. That was like probably my favorite part of the episode, honestly, was just seeing all three of them together. Not surprised, but I don't think I realized we had gotten to the part in the timeline where Harry had that whole fiasco with the Nazi outfit. I definitely remember that. Yikes. Bad, bad, bad. But yeah, this all seemed to culminate in Charles and Camilla's wedding. I didn't even know that at this point, honestly, Elizabeth even was like toying with the idea of stepping down. So that was interesting. But I kind of now just want to talk about the show as a whole. To be completely honest, I feel like the last 2 seasons of The Crown were a bit lackluster compared to the previous seasons. I think that's the thing with TV is it's really difficult for a show to hold the attention of the cultural zeitgeist for such a long period of time. I could really only think of like a small handful of shows that they were able to not only start off strong but end strong as well. Well, Game of Thrones last season was pretty bad from what I heard, but Game of Thrones people were still tuning in even at the end, like Breaking Bad, Succession. I don't think The Crown was able to maintain the level of attention that it did in its initial seasons. And I also think, to be completely honest, I think the quality fell off a bit towards the end as well. I don't know if like the pandemic kind of hurt the momentum of the show. And also, I just think, especially because the 2 most recent seasons of The Crown, it's fresher in our minds. I don't know if that's also part of the reason why it may not be as interesting, because we do remember it. And even though it's been about 15, 20-ish years since that period, there isn't this like air of, let's really revisit this period of history because it's been so long. Even in this season, when we had the Margaret episode and they did the flashback when Elizabeth and Margaret were kids, watching the show revisit like that period of the 1930s, the 1940s, like that to me felt like I was watching The Crown again compared to like seeing it in the 2000s. Like that's weird for me. And I know that's the nature of the show, and I can't exactly pinpoint why it feels weird, but I don't know, I'm more interested in like the past history of The Crown versus the more recent history. It's so hard to gauge too, like how many people are actually still watching the show. You know, as someone who has been watching it since season 1, like I remember when The Crown first came out, like that seemed to be the show that everyone was talking about, and like every new season it was like people were tuned in. Probably when the show was at its most popular would either be season 1 or season 4. Season 4, when Diana first came into the story, like it felt like people who were not even watching The Crown were suddenly interested in watching The Crown. So, you know, that was an exciting period to be a fan of the show. But these more recent seasons, you know, I think you really had to be a fan to stick with it. I think overall, the trajectory of the show, I think it ended fine. You know, I could see some cynical people saying it ended on a bit of a whimper, like who exactly is still watching The Crown? But I think in comparison to like other shows, like namely I'm thinking of one particular show where the ending was so shit that I never want to think about that show ever again. I think in comparison to that, like it was fine. It was fine. But if I'm being completely honest, I did feel like the quality waned a bit. And in terms of, because I'm sure some people are probably wondering, do you think The Crown will be able to come back for a season 7? I don't want The Crown to come back for a season 7, at least anytime soon. I forget which video I mentioned this, but I'm like kind of royal familyed out. I could use with the break from the royal family. So I'm not in any rush for Peter Morgan to revisit and continue The Crown. Maybe in 10-ish years, maybe, but not right now. You never know. All right, well, my question for you guys is, one, I want to know, what did you think about the series finale? Were you satisfied with it? And I know there was a question, actually. Someone had commented in a previous video asking me to rank the seasons, and then also asking me to share what my favorite episode was from each season. So first I'll say, in terms of like this last episode as a series finale, I think it's fine. I wasn't like blown away by it, thinking like, oh my god, what a series finale. Like I said, my favorite part of this last episode was just seeing Claire Foy, Olivia Colman, and Imelda Staunton together. Like, I screamed. But if I were to rank The Crown seasons, okay, starting at the top, I would say my favorite season of The Crown was season 2. And then my next favorite season would be season 4. And then coming in at 3 would be season 1. And then in 4th would be season 3. And then I'm gonna keep season 6 as one whole season. Season 6 and then season 5 is like the weakest for me. So that's my ranking of all the seasons. And then in terms of what my favorite episode is for each season. Also, by the way, I don't know if you guys can hear like someone singing I Want to Break Free in the background, but my neighbors are doing karaoke apparently right now, so we have to deal with that. Which, what a coincidence! They did karaoke if I Want to Break Free in this episode, so. Okay, let's see. All right, so this one's gonna kind of be tricky for me to answer because the last time I watched season 1 was back when it first aired. Oh, I don't know. My favorite episode of season 1, I believe, is the final episode, episode 10. The whole tension between like, is Elizabeth gonna allow Margaret to marry Peter Townsend? And then she ended up not allowing it, and it just caused a lot of like drama within the sister dynamic. That was like my favorite episode in season 1. My favorite episode in season 2 is, and I think my favorite episode in the entire series is Beryl, the Margaret and Tony, that was his name, right? It's the Matthew Good and Vanessa Kirby episode that's kinda sexy. So that was my favorite episode of season 2. But I'd also say like coming in at a close second would maybe be Paterfamilias. That's the episode when Philip was like really angry with the young Charles. And then season 3, my favorite episode would be, my favorite episode would be the one where Charles is learning how to speak Welsh. I think that's episode 6. because I can't pronounce those words. And then season 4, my favorite episode. Ooh, this is hard. My favorite episode of season 4. I'm gonna say episode 6. Terra Nullius, when they go on the tour to Australia, and it starts out like really, really nice, and then it ends terribly because they fight. Season 5, honestly, like, I would say maybe Annus Horribilis. Wait, is that the one? Yes, I would say Annus Horribilis. I'm reading the description here, but the thumbnail was a picture of Margaret and Peter Townsend. So I liked seeing that reunion. And then my favorite episode in season 6 would be Hope Street. There seems to be a pattern here. I like the Margaret-centric episodes. But yeah. So let me know in the comment section below, what is your ranking of The Crown seasons, and then what is your favorite episode from each season, and then just let me know in general, what are your thoughts on the series finale? Are you satisfied with their last episode? Wow, all right, and that's about it for this video. If you liked it, please give this video a thumbs up. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, and please turn on the notification bell so you know when a new video from me comes out, and comment down below your thoughts on this episode and on the show as a whole. This was my final show that I will be doing reaction videos for, so that's it. The reaction era on this YouTube channel is done. Don't ask me if I can react to another show, because the answer will be no. I'm sure some of you are probably wondering, well, what's next on the channel? And the direction that I'm going in is video essays. When I first started this YouTube channel, that was actually the original intent, was for there to be more video essays, for actually it to be more video essay centric. But then I just started doing reaction videos on a whim, and while I did enjoy doing them for quite some time, over time I really didn't care to be doing them anymore, honestly. I just kept doing it because that's what people expected of me. I'm kind of done with that. I think the reaction videos served their purpose when they did, but I've been waiting to go in a different direction. So if you guys are interested in still hanging around here, that's what's to expect in the future. But if not, if you were only interested in watching reaction videos, I really do appreciate you taking the time to stop by here on my channel and share moments with me as we've watched some amazing TV shows over the past couple of years. But yeah, that is pretty much it. I'm just gonna take this moment as well to plug the podcast that I host. It's a podcast called Diva Dailies, where we deconstruct divas on film, TV, and in music. For the past month, we've been talking about diva holiday movies. So if you're a fan of films like A Diva's Christmas Carol, The Holiday, Best Man Holiday, or Carol, definitely check out that podcast. And honestly, a lot of the way that we talk about things on that podcast, that's kind of the direction I'm going with on my YouTube channel, but it's gonna be more visual. I've always felt like with reaction videos, the difficult thing is there's so much I want to say, but my thoughts can only be fleshed out so much while watching a show. Like when I'm done watching like a show or a movie, I find myself still thinking about it even days after, and I start having more in-depth thoughts about it because I've had time to process it. But when you're watching a show in real time and you're supposed to be reacting to it, your thoughts can only be so deep. So that's kind of been one of the main gripes I've had about doing reaction videos over the years is, I feel like the thoughts that I'm sharing, the commentary, it's so surface level. I want to say more now. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I don't know when the first video essay is going to be out, but it will be out soon. So be on the lookout for that. Definitely in the new year. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you guys so much for watching The Crown with me over these past couple of years. I really, really appreciate the support. And I'm definitely gonna miss watching these shows with you. But as always, everything I said was just my own personal thoughts and all of my humble opinion. And I'll see you guys in the next one. I promise. Bye!